Hello and welcome to the fourth season of What's in a Story. And a big thanks to all the listeners, as it's all because of you that this podcast enters into its second year. I am Lopamudra Moitro, and in my podcast, I read the stories from my books as an anthropologist, writer, and translator working with popular culture and heritage of India and South Asia. And I introduce each story with some additional information from different fields of history, archaeology, geology, and others, which helps to bring a context to the story. I would like to add here that understanding this context is supremely important, as most of these stories from folklore took shape across several centuries and over a vast period of time. Many features were added to the narratives in this time period. Thus, before taking these stories as historical proof, one should be careful enough to understand the historical context as well as socio-cultural, religious, political context of the stories mentioned within each story. Across the last year, at most unusual places, it was nice to have met people coming up to me and speaking about the many stories that I have narrated across the last 1 year, and how they really like the stories as well as the books, my books from which I read them. The experience has not only been enriching but also greatly rewarding. I never thought it would be reaching out to so many people around the world what began as a small individual effort in last year May in 2025. Presently, and thanks to all the listeners, this podcast reaches across 11 countries of the world, and according to the present available listeners data, this includes a part from India, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Germany, UK, Russia, Austria, Brazil, Singapore, Poland, and the USA. This in itself is a huge achievement, and I sincerely thank each and every listener from the core of my heart. Now, a little bit about the fourth season. In this season, I would like to share some very interesting narratives that I came across about teachers. And by that, I would like to travel outside the domains of school walls and explore a larger area where a person, of course, who teaches in an educational institution is of course a teacher, but also one who motivates, encourages, helps to organize your random thoughts, mentors you in difficult times, or simply inspires you to move ahead in spite of all adversities. A teacher thus transgresses any narrow definition and encompasses all of these and perhaps a lot more. While collecting these stories, each experience has been deeply heartening, and as we begin the second year of this podcast, this is a dedication to the many unsung heroes of our lives, the teachers. About the story. The title of today's story is Water, Forest, Land, and I read this from my book, The Owl Delivered the Good News All Night Long, Folktales, Legends and Modern Lore of India by Aleph Book Company. The original title of this story in Telugu is Jangal, Zameen. It has been written by Parvathi Chandran. The popular slogan of today's movements of the tribal communities, Jangal, Zameen, was first coined by Kumaram Bheem in his agitation against the Nizam. Puchapalli Sundarayya, a politician and head of the peasant revolt in Hyderabad, has written a biography of Kumaram Bheem. The Gond community observes the death anniversary of Bheem every year on Ashwayuja Purnami, an auspicious full moon day as per Hindu calendar. Kumaram Bheem, a Telugu movie, has also been directed by Allani Sridhar, portraying the life and struggles of Bheem. Another television serial titled Veera Bheem has been produced by Nagabala Suresh Kumar. This one also sketches the life of Kumaram Bheem, a historical figure considered to be a sacrosanct figure of the Gond community. Story is about a teacher who was also a revolutionary, and it was as if he was born to lead. This is the story of Kumaram Bheem, alternatively also known as Kumaram Bheem, who was a revolutionary leader in the Hyderabad state under the British Raj from the Gond tribes. Bheem, in association with other Gond leaders, led a protracted low-intensity rebellion against the feudal Nizams of Hyderabad in the eastern part of the princely state during the 1930s, which contributed in the culmination of the Telangana Rebellion of 1946. He was killed by armed policemen in 1940, subsequently lionized as a symbol of rebellion and worshipped in Adivasi and Telugu folklore equally. Bheem is considered a sacrosanct symbol in the Gond culture and is credited for coining the slogan Jangal, Zameen, translated as water, forest, land, which, symbolizing a sentiment against encroachment and exploitation, has been adopted by Adivasi movements as a call to action since. He is also associated with the early part of the movement for Telangana statehood. A little about the state of Hyderabad and the Nizam. The Hyderabad state, also referred to as the Nizams of Hyderabad, was a princely state in the Deccan region of South Central India, with its capital at the city of Hyderabad. It is now divided into the present-day state of Telangana, the Kalyan Karnataka region of Karnataka, and the Marathwada region of Maharashtra in India. Telangana is a state in the southern Indian region on the Deccan Plateau, bordering the states of Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh to the north and the states of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka to the south. Follows the story of Kumaram Bheem and Water Forest Land from my book, The Owl Delivered the Good News All Night Long, Folktales, Legends and Modern Lore of India. The story. Water Forest Land. Kumaram Bheem was born in the first quarter of 20th century into a tribal family who lived in Adilabad district in Sankipalli, a forest area in North Telangana, which was under the rule of the Gond kingdom of Chandrapur and Ballalpur. The area belonged to the Gond community who spoke Gondu. Kumaram did not receive any formal education, nor did he know much about the outside world, but he grew up understanding deeply the problems of his community. He experienced the exploitation faced by his community at the hands of the police, the zamindars, that is the landlords, and the officials of the Nizam. Kumaram also knew that in order to protect themselves from the oppression of the Nizam, his community often had to be on the move. There was hardly any moment's respite. Often, the crops produced by them were forcefully taken away by the officials, and they were forced to follow podu, that is shifting cultivation. Often, the authorities falsely charged the Gonds on accounts of illegal felling of trees and deforestation. They were punished by having their fingers chopped off mercilessly. They also faced forceful tax collections, failing which they met with terrible consequences, including brutal physical torture. Kumaram Bheem's father was a very brave man. He fought against the injustice of the authorities and fought for their rights as aborigines. When he was brutally killed by the officials of the Nizam of Hyderabad, Bheem was only 15. The murder of his father greatly influenced him during the course of his future work. Soon after the incident, the family shifted to Saradapur village. In the meantime, the cultivated crops as well as the podu cultivation lands were being taken away forcefully from the Gonds. Kumaram Bheem organized a secret group of the Gonds to fight against the authorities. One day, two officials of the Nizam, Lakshman Rao and Siddiq, came to Bheem's village along with 10 other people, and they started beating the men on charges of tax evasion, and it led to a fight between the officials and the tribals headed by Kumaram Bheem. At the end, Siddiq was killed and Bheem and his friends fled from the village. He went to Chandrapur, and on his way he met Vithoba, a printing press owner. Vithoba invited Bheem to work for him. Vithoba published a magazine and spoke against the British and the Nizam. Bheem started assisting Vithoba in the press. He learned English, Urdu, and Hindi. But unfortunately, one day, Vithoba was arrested and the press was shut down. Kumaram Bheem decided to go to Assam. On reaching Assam, he began work in a tea plantation and stayed there for 4 years. During his stay, he heard about Alluri Sitarama Raju, a freedom fighter and leader of tribal rebellion in Andhra Pradesh. He was deeply influenced by the guerrilla fight under the leadership of Sitarama Raju. Bheem organized the workers in the tea plantation and fought for their rights. He was jailed by the authorities but escaped and managed to reach Ballarsha. Soon after his return from Assam, he shifted to Kakanghat with his mother and brother. He became an assistant to Lachu Patel, the head of Devadam village. He married a village girl named Sombai. Soon, Kumaram Bheem became famous as he successfully helped to settle a land dispute between Lachu Patel and Amin Saab. Later, he shifted along with his family to Bhabijhari. Here, they started cultivating crops, but at the time of harvest, the officials of the Nizam demanded the entire production and also ordered Bheem's family to leave the land. Bheem decided to speak with the officials to settle matters amicably, but was not allowed to do so. Provoked by the injustice done to him, he decided to follow in the footsteps of Alluri Sitarama Raju. He realized that rebellion was the only remedy to solve their problems. He formed an army of 12 young Gond men near Jodighat and launched agitations against the Nizam. This guerrilla army of young Gonds demanded a separate state for themselves. They fought for restoring their rights to the land and attacked the officials who were working for the Nizam. Bheem formulated the slogan Jal, Jangal, Zameen, or water, forest, land, while protesting against the callousness of the administrators. Through the slogan, he reminded everybody that the real inheritors of water, forest and land were the aborigines and not the invaders. Kumaram Bheem's activities were centered mostly around Jorghat. His speeches inspired many, and they joined the guerrilla army to fight for their land and freedom. The continuous guerrilla attacks on the landlords of Bhabijari and Jorghat became a big headache for the Nizam. And in an attempt to settle the dispute, the collector of Asifabad was sent to Bheem for a discussion. Bheem demanded the release of the tribals arrested by the officials and also put forward his new proposal for a separate self-ruling state of the Gonds. All these demands were dismissed and an army of 300 was deployed to arrest Bheem and his associates in the Jorghat hills. As all attempts proved futile, the army sought out an informer, Kurdu Patel, from the Gond community, and following his information, a troop was deployed under the leadership of the Talukdar of Asifabad. They arrived and surrounded the hiding place of Kumaram Bheem and his guerrilla fighters. A severe fight ensued, and though Bheem and his associates fought bravely with axes, sickles and bamboo sticks, they could not match the guns of the police. In this struggle, Kumaram Bheem was shot dead along with his 15 brave fighters.